So, it's been a minute. It's been, what, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
In that week, I made... So this is what I'm going to be mean about. I made a reel on Instagram that, I wouldn't say virality to me is, like, in the millions. So it's definitely not that.
You're saying my Harry Styles TikTok was not viral?
I feel like it was viral within that fandom, but not on the internet.
I'll take that.
Okay. I'll say that my reel went viral within the ACOTAR subgenre of Bookstagram. And Natalie, I don't think you're at this part yet, but I'm sorry to ruin it for you. It's not.
I've had
really...
things spoiled.
So I'm currently reading A Court of Wings and Ruin, which is just like about
Me too.
war.
I'm also currently reading it.
Natalie got through A Court of Mist and Fury, finally. It's been like what, a year-long process.
Yeah. Yeah. I finished A Court of Thorns and Roses this time last year.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's been like a
I had to restart A Court of Mist and Fury like 4 or 5 times. Well, and then I didn't have it, and I didn't have it for like a hot second because I gave you your books back,
and because I wanted to read them again.
And then I bought my own, and then I still had to restart it 3 times when I got my own. But then I finished it in like a weekend.
Yeah, it's so good. Like once you get past to like the really boring parts, but ACOWAR, which is the abbreviation for A Court of Wings and Ruin, is just about war, and Sarah J. Maas's writing, at least in my opinion, takes a big old dip.
Do you think she meant to do ACOWAR?
I thought that. I was thinking about that too.
Because now I'm that's funny, but also I keep thinking it's A Court of War and Ruin.
A Court of War and Peace.
ACOWAP.
ACOWAP. A Court of Wet Asp. I mean...
Sorry, I didn't mean to clap for all you.
That was just that was the alternate title for A Court of Silver Flames. A Court of Wet Ass Pussy. So there's a part in the book where it's like halfway through the book where all the battles start, and
they don't start until halfway.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm just mad because now I know I have to get there.
Nothing fucking happens. But I'm halfway through the book in my reread. There's a part where they're in a war tent after a battle.
I did hear about this.
And Feyre decides to... Okay, hold on. Let me just explain the scene. Feyre decides to give Rhysand head. And there's a quote that says, "The growls of his pleasure drowned out the scream." What was it? Oh, his growls of pleasure filled the tent, drowning out the distant cries of the injured and dying.
It's like having sex during the Vietnam War.
Yeah, and I'll get into some of the comments, because this is what I'm going to be mean about, is like the comments of this reel that I created. And so there's a sound where it's like, ugh, brother, ugh, what's that? So I made a reel to that sound with this quote on the screen. And the reel, I did not expect it to reach, I think the views right now, 421,000 views. And so I have a bunch of comments, and like some of them are rational, where it's like, I understand that this is a thing that happens in history because, you know, people are like, I'm going to die tomorrow. I'm just going to fuck right now. But they also acknowledge that this quote was unnecessary in the context of the book, because here's the thing with Sarah J. Maas. She's not, and maybe I'm just more critical of her than the other people that like the books, because I do like the books. I don't hate them. Mm-hmm. have an objective view of them, and they're not that good. Okay, they're not well written.
It's funny because like, because this is my first time reading it through, and I'm like, it's good in a sense of like the story building, it's kind of there.
Yeah.
The character, like the plot, it's kind of there. Like, I understand kind of where it's going. Do I get angry because I let myself, like, just fully immerse into the world instead of, like, judging the way she's writing? But, like, I objectively know that it's written poorly.
Yeah, it's written poorly, and people are, like, putting more meaning into it.
Yeah, and she did a really good job, like, writing A Court of Mist and Fury, like, to build Rhys and Feyre's, like, relationship and, like, background to him and, like, into this second book. But, like I just said, it doesn't get started till halfway in the third book.
Yeah.
That's the first two books. It doesn't get started until halfway or 3/4 of the way through the book.
And I think for me, having read her entire, like, bibliography, except for her newest book, Throne of Glass, which is arguably my favorite of her series, and it was her first fantasy series that she published. It's really? Well written. Yeah.
I thought it came Throne of Glass, A Court of Mist and Fury. Or A Court
Throne of Glass
ACOTAR.
Was published in 2012. ACOTAR was published in 2015. So
is Throne of Glass giving, like, Suzanne Collins?
There's a part. I think her writing was a little bit better because she had that competition of, like, Suzanne Collins. Really only Suzanne Collins, because no one else at the time was writing that well. But you can tell halfway through the series that her writing style dips when she starts ACOTAR. And
it's probably because, like, publishing, like, you get ACOTAR and people are, like, eating that shit up because it's smut. And then publishing is like, we think it would be better if you went this route. Like, keep just, like, pushing this shit out. And also, I think it's, like I'm interested in getting into these series because, like, I want to know what everybody else is talking about. But, like, sometimes when I'm sitting there and reading, I'm like, people like this shit.
Yeah.
But that's also because I'm not, like, I'm not, like, a full fantasy reader. Like, I don't. Yeah. Like, it takes me a very hard time to, like, get through a fantasy book. Whereas, like, just regular fiction or nonfiction or, like, a memoir or bibliography, like, I can get through those in, like, a day. You know?
I'm kind of the opposite. But even with, like, this, me as someone who loves fantasy, sometimes I'm just like, what the hell is this? Like, what are you doing? What are you talking about? And so this was one of those moments. And again, I understand that this is something that, like, historically happens in war. But here's an idea. This is a fictional fantasy book. Did we have to include it? Because I think ultimately it doesn't really do much for the book because people are like, it's how they show that they care for each other at the end of the day. And I'm like,
push the plot forward.
No, it doesn't.
That's what I always ask myself when I'm reading or what. That's what I really ask myself when I'm watching a movie. Like, does this make sense to push the plot forward?
And it really didn't. It didn't need to be there. And, like, so here's the things. Like, some people, I think, were, like, so I ended up pinning a comment, which was kind of just, she kind of got it all in her comment where she said, it's not the fact that they're having sex during a war. It's the fact that it was unnecessary and weird to include the part about the distant cries of the injured and dying. Like, go off with your man, but why would I need to know that they can hear the people around them dying? And so I pinned that comment because I was like, yeah, that's what I mean. I don't care that they're having sex. Do whatever you want. There's going to be smut in the book for people who, like, because here's the thing that kind of annoys me about, like, Bookstagram or Book Talk are people that are like, does it have smut in the book? Then I'm not going to read it. It's like, okay, this might be a problem. Do you guys think, like, imagine if you're watching a movie. Do the characters fuck in the movie? I'm not watching it.
Like, just say you're horny. You're down bad and you need
jeez,
some remedy. But like I won't read the like neon gods or like birthday girl. Like I saw a TikTok where it was
neon
like
gods, it's good.
I mean, like, I don't want to read it just because, like, I don't really care to. But, like, I saw this girl post a TikTok, and she was like, books that my husband enjoyed, but he didn't actually read.
Oh,
why are you sharing that on the internet?
I don't know.
She said, like, it's like the silent review where she's like,
the silent reviews are sometimes they're kind of stupid.
And I'm like,
I think the only silent review TikTok I've liked is someone like started breakdancing while they talked about like a book. And I was like, yeah. But
my favorite is the one where the girl is silently reviewing her movies of the month. And she like grabs the video, like she has like a picture of the movie, and there's one where it's like she grabs the movie and she's like,
and then just resets.
Yeah.
Good for her.
I'm like, me too, girl. Me too.
I also have books and movies that make me do that. Another person said, no, actually, I was like, there's no way they're doing that right now. Like, that is the worst time possible. And then so someone chimes in and they say, never read the book. But from what... First of all, never read the book, but from what I understand from this comment section, they were going to die the next day. They kind of didn't have any more time. And I said, in the book, the battle was over and they went home the next day. Like, these are main
it's
characters.
Kind of a let's unwind and remember we have each other. I'm sorry, but if I knew I was going home the next day, I would not be like, let's get it on.
Yeah.
I would be like, I'm fucking tired. I just murdered a shit ton of people.
Literally. I would not know. Someone else, are you looking through them too?
Yeah, because I have to read while you're saying it.
You're good. Someone said, clearly none of you have watched Game of Thrones because this is tame as hell. Like, what? I'm gonna die tomorrow and you expect me not to bone? That's just silly. I just said I have seen Game of Thrones. The difference is quality of execution between Game of Thrones and Akawar.
Okay, so it's really funny because when I was, like, looking something up on Reddit, people are like, Sarah J. Maas needs to figure, like, there's been, like, rumors of her, like, plagiarizing a song of Ice and Fire, which is George R.R. Martin, which is Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because, like, as somebody who has read Game of Thrones, like, the series, I can, like, totally see it. I don't think she, like, blatantly plagiarizes, but I think she does get a lot of her ideas from. Yeah. And, like, George R.R. Martin is, like... It's not up to par. No, but his is, like, very vulgar. It's, like, way worse than the TV shows, and it's very, like...
I have heard that.
Trigger warning, you know, before you read each chapter, essentially. And it's sometimes funny because, like, when I'm reading her books, the way she's world building, I'm like, this is a little funny. Also, like, A Song of Ice and Fire, like, George R.R. Martin, I'm pretty sure is one of the first people to do his books like that. Like, name them.
Where it's like a blank, a blank, blank.
Yeah. And now I get these TikToks where it's like, figure out what your book is named. Do your first name, the color of the shirt you're wearing, and then your last name. And I always get like, what did I get the other day? It was like a spring of snakes and nights.
Yeah.
I hate that. I hate
of snakes and nights.
A thing of thing and thing, and it's all like snakes, vampires, courts, daggers, knives, war, wings, magic, fairies. Phillies.
And I think here's the thing is that like Sarah J. Maas wasn't, I'm gonna be honest, I think with her writing, if she was trying to make this like some sort of commentary on sex during the wars, that all of the human wars that we've had, I don't think she did a good job, because she writes smut scenes for them to be smut scenes. She doesn't write them to be like let's think about
emotional
this.
Yeah, and like because I'm sure people were having, we know people were having sex during the war, because
obviously there's also war crimes because of it.
Yeah, but I don't think like one, people don't talk about it enough to know, like I don't think someone was like in the trenches of World War II. Oh, it's Christmas Day. Let's go bone someone. Like, yeah. It's also like, no one's thinking about that. Like, I don't think there's anyone in the world, I mean, maybe some sick fucks, but like thinking, I wonder if my grandpa was boning during World War II.
Yeah, like, I don't need to know. I don't need to know that they did it here. That could have easily been a closed door, fade to black scene. Yeah. Like, I would have been fine with that. Or, like, a kiss on the forehead and we cuddle and go to bed. Like, I don't know. But, of course, people have, like, brain rot when it comes to, like, smut. Someone said, if I may die tomorrow in a battle against some shitty king, I'm fucking. I don't care. And especially if I'm a newly mated fey couple who's hardly had the time to come together in a romantic way. Lie. They fucked so many times in A Court of Mist and Fury. We just didn't read the scenes because they were fade to black. Yeah. Where is it? In a romantic way just due to general life shit. All right. They aren't human. They have a mating bond that has pretty obvious hormonal effects on them. Plus, he's the most powerful male in history. His bond is probably more powerful as well, I assume. Chill and let them bone. First of all, yeah, you said it best. They're fucking fake. And I can criticize a part of a book that you like. I'm sorry. But the other part is just like, here's my breakdown of that comment. They're kind of newly faded, but not really, because it's been like months at this point. They had plenty of time to bone.
Because think about it, especially in A Court of Mist and Fury, she's gone from him for almost 3 months.
Yeah. And like...
Celeste, I just read a comment.
What one did you read? Trust me, I've read them all.
And I like ruined it for myself, but I don't really care because I love spoilers.
Oh, is it about the like?
Why is everyone talking about that scene where there's a scene of Reese coming at the image of his baby son?
I don't remember that one. I feel like that one might be.
He should have stayed dead. I didn't know he was the one to die, but I knew someone did.
I did. That comment was fucking funny. He should have stayed dead. I mean, when I read the book the first time, I thought the same thing. But, no, because, okay, so they're not newly fated.
No.
I mean, technically, in the span of, like, Fae lifetimes, fine. They haven't been fated for that long.
Wow, but they've been fated for less than a year? Or,
they're fuck machines. Like,
yeah, and like somebody else was saying was like, I saw the TikTok where the girl's like, I don't know why they're complaining about him being 50 years under the mountain. 50 years is nothing if they're living to like 500-600.
That's true. That's like 5
They're
months.
like, get over it and stop complaining.
Stop fucking crying.
Stop being traumatized.
Get over it. What was the other? Oh, where she was like, he's the most powerful male in history. Who the fuck cares? If he's the most powerful male in history, he should have some goddamn, I don't know, like self-respect or respect for his fucking dying crew out there. Like someone made a comment, because like Cassian, who's like the general, was very distraught because like all of his people are like missing arms and legs or dead, and they have to go, like, it's literally a part in this before this scene happens where Cassian's like, I have to go get the letters ready to let these people's families know that their son or their husbands or their fathers have died in this battle. So someone put it, they're like, imagine being Cassian, like crying over your dead soldiers, and your High Lord is just fucking getting sucked off in his tent.
And somebody said they could smell it.
Yeah, I forgot about that part. I was like, oh. Yeah, because they can smell it.
Cassian's point of view, between the smells of burning flesh and rotting flesh and blood and gore, I smell
fucking.
Someone's fucking.
And the thing is that it's specific to each person. And of course, they've smelled it on each other before, so he's gonna know who it is.
I hate this.
Yeah. And people are like, it's fine. I would do the same. Why are you saying that in public?
On the internet. That's a digital footprint.
This is your digital footprint.
I mean, this is our digital footprint, but...
Well, yeah, but at least I'm not saying out fucking in the middle of a war. Well... I just respond. Oh, someone else. There was a comment. Someone said, "Y'all acting like this, like y'all didn't just read about some woman getting it on with some masked man chasing her in the woods." I have no idea what book that person is talking about. I don't know what they're talking about.
What?
That's what I responded. I said, "Girl, what book are you talking about?" And they just said, I forgot the name. One of my woman friends is mentioning to me about all sorts of filth the smut books have, from werewolves to very dubious situations.
Dubious.
To each their own. But fuck me, there is some filth I didn't even know existed. I still don't know what this person's talking about.
You say like, dubious, I go dubious.
Dubious. Okay, I'll find one more, because there was one more that I was like, what? Someone said, oh, this one. It's kind of like people hooking up at a funeral. When faced with your own mortality and that of those around you, you might react differently, grasping onto any distraction or holding on to the feelings of being alive or real or not alone.
No.
Here's the thing. Okay, I know that everyone's going to grieve in their own way if you're at a funeral, but if I'm dead, please don't fuck at my funeral. I don't care if it's for your own, like, mortality or your own grief. Go home. If you got a hard on at my funeral, please leave. Please don't do it in the parking lot.
I hate when people say if it was the end of the world, I'd want to be with my loved one, having it for one last time. And I'm like, I don't want to be doing that. I'm gonna be having a panic attack about the world.
I'm gonna be having a bad time.
I will not be horny. I will be having a bad time. It will not be fun. I will be very sad, very much crying.
Someone also, I forgot. Someone said, imagine you just lost your family and you just hear the people next to you in the tent next to you just straight fucking.
Someone said, like, guys, should I read the ACOTAR series? I've been putting it off because people say it's bad, but I'm curious. For reference, my fave fantasy books are his Dark Materials trilogy and the Six of Crows duology. I despise the Fourth Wing. Please let me know if ACOTAR is a good fit for me. In short, I look for refined writing style, originality, and well thought out plots.
Then I think you've answered your question.
I'm gonna reply to them for their own sake. Yeah. No. Don't read.
If you like all that, don't read this. Someone also said, as a dark romance girly, I didn't even think about that scene. I don't even want to get into the genre of dark romance, but you guys have your own fucking problems. Sorry, not to yuck someone's yum, but you guys got your own fucking problems. I was talking about this with one of my friends before book club this on Wednesday, where we were like, I think dark romance, shouldn't be called dark. I think it should just be called triggering romance, because dark romance to me is things like where there's a romance element to the book, but there's obviously a darker element that makes you kind of reconsider, is this romantic or is this like a thoughtful commentary on something? Like in February, I read My Beautiful Dark Vanessa, which I rated 5 stars. It was amazing. I would consider that like almost like a dark romance, because there is a romance element throughout the entire book, but it's about the abusive power struggle between someone who was 14 and a student and her 40-year-old teacher. And it goes throughout her entire life, where I would even have Lolita in that, because it's like there's a romantic element, but obviously you know that it's wrong, but we're going to talk about what is going on.
We were all like 13, 14, 15 watching Pretty Little Liars and rooting for Arya and Ezra to be together.
And so I would count those as like a little bit under the dark romance umbrella, but I wouldn't count things, I don't know. I think it's not a genre for me, the kind that people are like, I love Haunting Adeline and I love Crescents and I love all these books where there's so much weird fucking shit.
And I will say this because I went to Barnes & Noble yesterday for my birthday.
Yeah.
And I said to my sisters and everybody else in the store, because I said it very loud, I said, if it's one thing about me, I am going to judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
I am. Like, if it's not
a real person on it, I don't want it.
If it's got dark vines and the same font copy pasted and little pops of color and like a knife, sorry. I've already filled my fantasy TBR for the next life from Sarah J. Maas's
entire library
discography. I don't think that's the word, but
a bibliography.
No, that's a book written about you.
No, that's an autobiography. That's a biography.
Did I say bibliography earlier?
I think you did. I just didn't correct you.
I have read bibliographies.
I mean, yeah, entire libraries from the same author.
I have.
So that's kind of just what I wanted to complain about. I've had that in my back pocket for a while.
What I'm going to complain about is a touchy topic for everyone.
Uh-oh.
Rev your engines.
Oh, were you meditating or were you closing your eyes?
No. Rev your engines.
Sorry.
Let's get ready to rumble. It's road rage. I got road rage. Oh. People are bad drivers. I'm complaining about bad drivers. Listen, it doesn't matter that I've only had my license since I was 21 years old.
Oh, yeah.
But that's given me time to grow and drive with multitude of drivers. No one knows how to drive anymore.
No.
And people got road rage out the wazoo. Like, yeah, I got road rage, but I'm yelling in my car. That's it. I'm yelling in my car. All I do. I'm not pulling boop boops out and shooting people on the streets.
Oh, I was like, what?
Or
I thought you meant
like chasing people down, or like chasing people down. Like, that shit's scary. I don't want to do any of that. Like, I'm not going to entice myself to get in that situation. But that doesn't mean people don't know how to put a blinker on, or learn how to merge, or learn how to turn, or learn how to stop. Like,
or get out of the left lane on a highway if they're not going to go.
Or I'm driving behind you. You're going a little too slow. And you are going slow because you're going under the speed limit. Speed limit's 45. Why are you going 37? I'm going to go around you. So I get into the lane next to me because it's open. I start speeding up. You speed up. You brake. So the people in front of me brake. Why are you braking when the people 2 cars over and 2 cars up are braking?
Wait, okay, so
I don't think people are aware of their surroundings when they're driving.
Oh, no, they're not.
Like, I'm constantly checking my mirrors. I'm constantly looking at the cars around me because I can, like, do that.
Well, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do, be a defensive driver.
But I think I'm a defensive aggressive. Like, I think I know how to get my way in. Like, I will say, I think it's because I drove in New York City. Like, everyone in their life should drive in New York City at least once. It makes you a better driver.
I don't want to. I'm never gonna.
Well, you should.
Refuse.
I'm gonna make you. We're going.
I learned how to drive in the city that I'm in right now, and we have the worst drivers of all time, I feel like, so I'm fine.
I think it's annoying because, like, there's people who are like learn to drive in the city that they live in, and it's like a very, very, very small city or village, and then they never drive in like a metropolitan city, like a big city.
I have, though.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's like other people like never drive in them, and then they go to that city, and then they're like, like, I don't understand people who can't drive on highways or freeways.
I mean, everyone's got to do it for the first time at least once. So there's always going to be someone that's like, okay, I'm finally going to go on the highway. Like, I didn't really have a choice because my commute to college was just the highway, and my commute to school for high school was just the highway. So I kind of had to. If
I want to go places, I got to drive on the freeway.
Yeah. But so yesterday, and I'm like extra defensive now because now I have a new car, and the last thing I need is for someone to fuck it up. Like, okay, genuinely in my old car, there were some days where I was like, you know what, if someone hits me,
it's not the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world. It already looks like shit. Maybe it'll be totaled and I can get a new car. Now I have a new car that I don't want someone to fucking hit because it's a nice car. True. And yesterday, I was starting to get a little, like, not road ragey, but I was getting annoyed. I usually just get annoyed. Very rarely do I find myself being like, fuck you, get out of the fucking lane. Like, that's usually what I do to myself. Or, like, I'll call someone.
I get like that every time I drive. I'm in the front seat, like, I don't get, like, get out of the fucking lane!
Like, yesterday, I was driving in the left lane, as I usually am on my way home from work, because I want to get the fuck home. So I'm going, if the highway is, like, a speed limit of 70, I'm trying to go, like, 75, 80. Okay? But I'm in the left lane, as one should be if they're going to go fast and pass people. So I'm behind a truck that's going, like, at 70. And I'm like, all right, can we please get over in the right lane? So if
a truck was going 70 in the left lane?
Yeah, not a semi-truck, just a truck. A pickup.
Ew, wow.
And, but in the right lane, there was also a truck, but they were, like, they had a hitch. They had something that they were pulling. So it's kind of like this. So if this is the truck with the hitch, this is the truck that I was behind. So if I'm here behind the truck, oh my God, and someone's behind me in my ass, they were. I was getting so annoyed. I was like, I'm not the one going slow. Get out of my ass.
I hate when people are like that. I'm like, I'm not. You can see the car in front of me.
I'm giving the car in front of me ample room. You don't have to be in my ass. And so this person pulls out, like they're in fucking Fast and Furious. They kind of go around and they squeeze themselves between the hitch and the truck in front of me. So the first thing I thought was, all right, I'm dead. This person's gonna crash all of us. We're gonna fucking die on this road because they're a fucking idiot. And so the car with the truck with the hitch has to go into the, like, off the road a little bit. The truck that I'm in front of has to push on their brakes, so I have to push on my brakes because this person can't. Is just a fucking idiot. And you know what they do once they get in the left lane? They don't even go that much faster than us. I can see them for the rest of my drive.
I fucking hate that shit. See,
if you're gonna do that,
that's where I become an aggressive driver. If I see somebody like that, and I'm like, you're gonna get out in front of me and cut me off like an asshole just so you can go 74 when I'm going 73. I don't really ever go 73. I go higher than that. I get out of that. I get out. I get up, and bye. I'm going 85 until I can't see you no more.
I was so pissed. Like, this person
yesterday
decided.
I was almost. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, you're good. I literally thought I was going to die just for someone because we're going 75 right now. The person wanted to go, like you said, like 77. I was like, you're a fucking idiot.
I will say.
Like, that's the kind of road rage where I'm like, really? You look like a fucking idiot.
Cops don't come for me, and nobody be a freaking narc.
No narc.
Yesterday I was almost late to Charlotte's recital. Even though I left at an ample time, people are just stupid fucking drivers. Mm-hmm. Once I hit Southfield, which is like a 55 mile per hour, everybody goes 70, which like, okay. I was blasting 88 on that bitch because my ETA was 5:58 and her recital started at 6 and she's the first singer. Mm-hmm. I said to everybody on that road, I'm not missing this. I'm not missing this. I'm not missing. I was crying. I'm not missing this. I'm not missing. But like, I'm respectful about it. You know, if I'm going to be an asshole driver and speed or like go up on people's butts, I won't do that. I'll go around. If I can have the opportunity to go around you, I'm going to go around you. If I have the opportunity, if I don't have the opportunity to go around you because some motherfucker in the lane right next to me is going too slow for me to pass and now I can't pass you in front of me and I can't pass because of them. I hate that shit. I will slow down. I'll give you a car space between us. I'll hit my brakes. Actually, I also hate when people drive and they see brake lights so they immediately hit their brakes.
Yeah, you don't...
Take your foot off the gas! You don't need to hit your brake right away. Like, especially if it's like you're all going the same speed limit. Especially
highway,
when it's
don't do that.
Especially when it's like a touch of a brake. Like if they're braking, like coming to a full stop, obviously brake.
Well, yeah, but like if someone's just slowing down because they're passing an exit and some people are starting to merge. Calm down.
I also hate when people don't, like, when people are in the right lane and there's a car pulled over, they won't get over.
Like, do you want to decapitate someone?
But that's, like, the rudest thing ever. Like, that's the absolute, like, that is just, like...
It's also illegal.
It is. But, like, not even talking about laws on the road. Like, that's just rude. Like, what if you... Like, that was you.
Someone... I remember seeing a tweet. I think it was like Troye Sivan. He was like, what I love about America is that everyone, like if there's an ambulance, they all get over off the road to let the ambulance through. Like, that's so cute. And someone responded, it's the law.
I watched somebody, because like I live in a I live like near the fire station and near the police station. It's a like highly active road. Like people get into accidents a lot. And so I'm always hearing sirens. But the amount of people in this area that like, I'm gonna speed across in front of this ambulance really quick.
I had someone, I was driving home. I live right by a school. And I'm gonna be honest, okay, for some reason the school bus decided to stop right after an intersection to drop these kids off. I was like, you couldn't pull into the school parking lot and do that, like, you know,
or like pull up more. Like, past the intersection and pull up a bus length's worth up.
Yeah, so we're not, like, all in the intersection. And so this person, like, in front of me gets annoyed, and so they get in the other lane. And I was like, are you going to pass a stopped school bus in front of a school where there's a cop right there? And I think they realized and they stopped. But I was like, you're a fucking idiot. Like, what made you think that would have been a good idea if you went through with that?
I just hate people driving. Also, it's confirmed the worst state drivers is New Jersey. Have you ever driven on the Garden?
No, I've never been to the East Coast.
This is the stupidest drivers I've ever interacted with my entire life. Like, I know people say like they hate like Michigan drivers because Michigan drivers are aggressive drivers. But that's also because we have the, like, highest speed limits on our roads.
I hate Michigan. I hate driving in Michigan because your roads fucking suck.
That too. Actually, they're getting better. Like, she's doing the damn thing. Fixing the damn roads.
Every time I drive into Michigan, if I'm driving back to Ohio, my butthole immediately unclenches the minute I'm back on an Ohio highway because it feels so much better.
Oldest thing ever, because there is no difference from if I'm driving on 75.
There is.
No, there isn't. If I'm driving on 75 and immediately drive into Ohio on 75, there is no difference because my butt is still going.
Here, I drove.
Also,
well, okay.
Secor. I'm just gonna say Secor. What the fuck is that road?
Well,
why did you make a 2-lane road
on a Michigan highway?
4-lane? There aren't that many, bro.
They can't make Secor any better, any bigger.
No, they need to make it smaller. They took a 2-lane road. They took a 2-lane road.
Oh, well, like they literally can't. The zoning has gotten denied multiple times.
And they made it 4
our
lanes.
Favorite rich neighborhood. No, like, okay, I'll use this example. Last summer, I drove a lot, like I guess it was, I don't know highway numbers, but when you go up to Ann Arbor.
23.
23.
23 is bad. I can give you that. 23 is the worst road ever.
But even when I did drive up, like, to go get Mabel, that drive was fucking miserable.
Those roads are horrible, too. I live on those
that's roads. What I mean.
But, like,
and then when I get into Ohio, it was fine. I don't drive 94.
Okay, well, whatever.
I hate Michigan
people in
roads. I hate
New
them.
Jersey. People in New Jersey just actually don't know how to drive.
Well, yeah, Celeste, they also don't know how to do a lot of things.
They just don't know how to drive. Like, I'm talking 6 lanes, all going in the same direction, and I got someone in front of me in the second to left lane. Someone in the last lane on the right-hand side, 2 cars up, brakes. Everybody brakes. Saw a brake light, brake, stop.
Yeah, I'm never going to drive on the East Coast. I don't have to. I'm not going to.
It was so stupid. Also, I think it's really stupid that the Outer Banks, there's only one way in and out.
Never been.
It was fun. But that's what I'm complaining about. Stupid drivers. Everyone needs to... Also, sorry. If you're old, if you're over the age of 60...
We do need
65, you need a retest. You shouldn't be driving.
Yeah, I get... There's so many people that I have that they're like, my doctor said I couldn't drive anymore. And I'm like, that's probably a good thing. You don't know where you are. I asked you what year it was, and you said 1936. So I think it's kind of good that you don't drive
The cars
anywhere.
don't work the same way they used to in 1936.
Yeah, they're computers now.
Exactly. But yeah, that's what I'm complaining about. People don't know how to fucking drive. I also hate when I see an old biddy and she's like this over the dashboard. Like,
that's my sister.
No, I'm talking old people.
I know, but my sister is so small that she's like this too.
Yeah, but if you're young and like that's a different thing. But if you're old and you shouldn't drive. If you're old and that little, you shouldn't drive.
Yeah. Well, am I good to get into my story of the day?
Let's get into it.
So I'm talking about this TikTok playlist series called "Who the Fuck Did I Marry?" by, I think it's Risa Tisa or Ressa Tessa. I don't know. I think it's Risa Tisa. So this is about this woman. The series is called "Who the Fuck Did I Marry?" It's like a 52-part series. Each part is 10 minutes long. So in total, I think it's like 8 hours, 7 or 8 hours. So it's like a whole audiobook. And I just have...
It's a whole audiobook.
It's the same length as audiobooks that I've read or listened to. So I have like a condensed version of it because Natalie has not listened to the entire 52 part. And it's fucking insane.
That's 520 hours. No, what? 520 minutes.
Oh, I was like, no, it's 8 hours, Natalie.
That's 8 hours. That's 8 hours. That's a whole Wait, you watched a whole day?
No, I split it up between days, but...
Jesus Christ.
It's the same as if you watch a show or listen to a podcast or listen to, like, if you're binge watching a podcast, Natalie. I was doing it while doing other things. Well, I wasn't sitting there watching it. I was like, I had it on when I was like cleaning or like doing other things. The same as I would for. So she's not like
showing pictures or anything. She's just talking.
No, she's just talking. Okay. So it's from, I think it's just Risa Tisa. So here's kind of the breakdown. So she met this man, who she calls Legion. Obviously that's not his name. That's what she calls him. And I guess I'm not very well versed in like everything in the Bible, but it's like a man. It's a man who's like got a lot of demons inside of him. So she calls him Legion. So she met him in March of 2020, 2 weeks before lockdown. They met online. She's from Georgia. They met online and they talked a little bit and decided to go on a date. So they go to Cheesecake Factory. He's from California. And he says that he just recently moved to Georgia because he started a job at this condiment company. He's like a regional manager or something.
Good for him.
He's also said like, so on her way there, her tire blows out, which I feel like was sign from whatever higher power was like, don't fucking go. I'm literally blowing your tire.
Turn around.
And okay, I also forgot. They met online. They matched on 2 separate dating apps or dating sites, but she didn't realize it was him because he had a different name on the other one. Like if his, like, say for example, if his name was Matthew, on one of them he was Matthew, on the other one he was Matt. So like he just had his nickname, but she didn't recognize that it was him. So it was kind of like, okay, that's kind of weird, but whatever. So her tire blows out. She calls him and she's like, hey, I'm sorry. Like my tire just blew out. I have to go get it. I have to go get this fixed right now. And he's like, oh, what's your location? I'll come to you. And so he comes.
No.
She gives it to him. No. She comes. He puts the spare on her tire. They go to a auto shop. He pays for a new tire. They get it fixed, and they still go to a Cheesecake Factory, which I was like, okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
And he paid for everything. They still went on the date. They talked. She said that they kind of just went right in and like talked about what they're expecting, because he was like in his 40s. She was like, I think she said like early to mid 30s. So they're kind of were up front where they're like, I'm not dating just to date. I would like to date and get married. They talk about like their exes on the first date. He talks about how he just got divorced in California because his ex-wife cheated on him. But he had like 2 stepchildren that he was still very close with. He says that he walked in on her with the man. They got along well, but by the time that shutdown came around, they decided that they would quarantine together. Mind you, they went on their first date 2 weeks ago. But in between that time, between the first date and shutdown, they were like hanging out sporadically and talking every day. But still, 2 weeks is not enough to quarantine with someone. Granted, we all thought quarantine would be 2 weeks, not a whole 2 years. But like, so they decide that he's going to quarantine with her in her apartment because she has a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home. Townhome. He had like a studio through his company, and they were trying to get him like situated and get him another apartment. But the thing that they could get the earliest with him coming out to like Georgia was like a studio apartment, and they were in the works of getting him something better. And he was just like, whatever, we'll just go to yours because you have 3-bedroom and 2-bath. So yeah, and he paid for everything except for her own car and auto insurance. So he paid rent, he paid groceries, he paid utilities, and she only paid her car, her insurance, and her phone bill. And she was happy because she's, let's be real. If someone's going to come in and pay all your bills,
Who doesn't want that?
Yeah. And like they were hitting it off. Like she found him attractive. She really liked his conversation. She liked getting to know him, and he's paying for everything. So he tells her that he has 5 siblings, 2 half siblings that he was close with. So his family tree was, he had an older brother who he talked to every day in the morning. He had a younger brother, and then he had 2 sisters, and then he had 2 half brothers from his dad's from a previous marriage. So he said his mom was a teacher and his dad was a retired police officer. So he had like a lot of respect for the police. And he talked to his sister all the time. He talked to his brother every day. I think his brother was in Philly because he was Legion, the man. He was from Philly, did go to high school in Georgia. So his sister was in Georgia, but then moved out to California, came back to Georgia for his job.
And so now his sister's like around.
Yeah. His sister, I think, I don't know much about Atlanta, but I think with how she described it, his sister was probably like 45 minutes to an hour away from them. Yeah. Like there was a couple of times where he would go out to like, his sister would have like a barbecue or something, and he would go and he would offer to have like Reese Tisa go. And then she'd be like, no, I don't feel good. And then there was one time where they were going, but he got a call halfway through and it got canceled because someone had COVID. So she never met his sister, because the other thing too is like we are in the middle of lockdown. Yeah. So everything is like through phone or through Zoom or through FaceTime or through each other.
Or through a freaking closed window.
Yeah. So it's lockdown. So she's not really meeting a whole lot of people because you can't leave your house. Again, he spoke to his oldest brother every day on the phone. So they were together for about 1.5 years. She never spoke on the phone with the brother-in-law, but she spoke to him in passing. So like he would be on the phone and he'd be like, hey, my brother says hi. And then she would be like, oh, hi, how are you? And he'd be like, oh, did you hear her? Yeah, she was asking how you are. Oh, you're good. He's good. And then they'd go back to like their conversation. Okay. So that's how she talked to the brother. I know. You kind of already like pick it out. So that sort of thing. Like I said, he did have an ex-wife, no kids with the ex-wife, but stepkids that he was still very close with. I think he said that the ages, so there was a girl, he had a stepdaughter who was 20 and a stepson that was 17. And he would be on the phone, like helping with homework for the younger boy. They kept like asking him if he would bring them out to Georgia so that they could meet her. But again, lockdown never really came to fruition. They tried to buy a house together and it fell through. So the first house, so Legion he said that he had in California, he went to, I think it was San Diego State, where he got his degree. He played arena football, which Reese Tisa already says, she's like, I don't know shit about arena football. All I know is that he said that he made a lot of good money because he invested his money well. A quick Google search tells you that arena football, your salary is like $17 an hour for games. Off season, it's like $12 an hour. So you're essentially a McDonald's worker.
Part-time worker.
A part-time worker at McDonald's or Burger King or something.
Hey, we got those people on their grind shit. They're investing. They're the ones like putting money into stocks.
But here's the thing. I don't think with your arena football salary, you were able to have 4 accounts, an offshore account, and because this is his claim, he had an offshore account, a Chase banking account, and 2 other accounts.
That man is lying. Kick him out.
Enough to be approved for a $700,000 mortgage loan. Because those are income based.
Yeah. Income to debt ratio.
Yeah. And so like he shows that Chase letter to Reese Tisa and he's also like, I'm also making a lot as a regional manager. so she's thinking in her head that like he has a lot of money in these like offshore accounts. He has a good job with his like regional manager salary, and he's also been approved for this bank loan from Chase. So she's like, why would I not, like, in her mind, she's like, who would lie about that? So she's just kind of going forward with it. And so they're looking at houses, and they put in an offer for this house that I think she said was like $600,000. And what was it? Oh, I think he was putting in all cash offers. Let me see if I explained it in here. So he kept kind of giving the runaround. So he would give an all cash offer. And obviously, if you're going to do an all cash offer, you have to have proof of funds. Yeah. Obviously. So what he would do is he would put in an all cash offer, and then he would say, the sellers would be like, well, we need proof of funds, and then we'll accept. And he would be like, no, I'm not going to accept, because what if you create a bidding war? Which I'm like, that's so stupid.
If you're going to give somebody cash, nobody else is going to be able to do a bidding war. You're going to win. Yeah. That's just how it
straight goes. Straight cash.
Literally.
And so, like, he says that the sellers accepted their offer. They have to do the inspection and do, like, all the other stuff, like, after an offer is accepted. Not buying the house. For anyone that hasn't bought a house or doesn't know, you put in an offer is accepted, so now you have, like, a little small, like, contract between you and the seller where you agree to...
A little window.
Yeah, a little window to get, like, your inspection done, to do any, like... Yeah, your appraisal, to request any renovations or changes, or to change your offer or pull out. Mm-hmm. And so she keeps saying, like, okay, so we just have to do the inspection. She's not on the mortgage. It's all going to be in his name. So she's kind of off hands for this one, because the realtor keeps asking her questions. She's like, look, I'm not on the mortgage, so I have no idea.
I don't fucking know.
Because for the first house, actually, now that I think about it, it was through the mortgage. The all cash offers started after. So she's kind of off hands on the mortgage. She's just keeps getting calls from the realtor, because the realtor calls her first. And he's like, hey, so are you guys thinking about putting an offer in on the house? And she goes, oh, I thought we already did put an offer in. Because Legion told me that we did. And he's like, oh, well, he didn't put one in with me. And so she talks to Legion. Legion says, oh, yeah, I started to use my realtor friend. Where did this realtor friend come from? We have no idea. And he's like, I put the offer in through him so that he has all the business. And you're like, okay, whatever. And so she's kind of checking on Zillow. So you're just fucking
this realtor on the side?
Yeah. And then, so she is like looking on Zillow, as you do when you're in the process of buying a house. You constantly look at the house. You use it to show people. And she says she knows that it says under contract. And so she shows Legion. He's like, yeah, did you think I was lying? And she kind of mentions in like the TikTok where she's like, I mean, kinda, because you've been really sketchy. Like, she said that to herself. She didn't say that to him. Yeah. And yes, so it's under contract. He has like the excuse of COVID to be like, oh, we haven't been able to get an inspection yet because the guy has COVID. He's behind on houses. We have to wait. And then finally he's like, okay, we're doing the inspection, and then we're going to close in June. It's like May, I think.
Okay.
April or May. And so they go to
they've been together for a hot minute.
Yeah. But mind you, like they met in March.
Yeah. No, I'm saying like a hot minute.
Yeah, this isn't in March. Yeah.
I was like, that's what I was thinking. My brain was still in March.
Yeah, no. This is April, May. So a month later. Like, but like, so now that they have like this offer in, they're set to close. That she knows they're set to close. They go to like Home Depot and Ashley Furniture, and they start putting things on hold because the sellers are taking all the appliances. So they put all of these appliances on hold. They'll buy them when they're ready, and then they'll have them delivered to the house. And she watches Legion like put down a $500 deposit to hold all of these appliances. He's like writing down all the furniture that she wants so he can order it online, because furniture takes forever.
Yeah.
And then she kind of sees one day, as they're getting closer and closer to closing, that she sees that the house is no longer on the market. So she calls the seller's realtor, and she goes, oh, you know, she's like kind of playing the card of like, oh, we wanted to look at this house, like kind of playing like, that she actively wasn't thinking that she was the one buying the house. Yeah. So she's like, oh, my husband and I were thinking of buying this house. I noticed that it says off market. Is it not being sold anymore? Was it bought? And the seller was like, yeah, the closing was actually yesterday. So sorry. And she's like, oh, okay. And then somehow, like, they continued talking, and she found out that it was like an old white couple. And she's like, well, that's definitely not us. And so she's like, okay. And so she gives Legion kind of like, she doesn't, like, at this point, I feel like I would have been like, all right, I'm done. Like, why are you lying about the house?
I would have gotten new locks, changed them while you were out of the house, and when you try to come back in, said through the door, you're a liar. What's going on?
She doesn't. She goes, she's
Risa
like,
Tisa.
She's like, how's the house going? Like, when he gets home. And he's like, oh, and she kind of had in the back of her head, she's like, he's going to have a way out. Like, he's going to come home and he's going to, like, say, like, something's bad about the sale. And he says, oh, you know, the interest rates are bad right now. I think we're going to kind of have to hold off. And she goes, okay, well, we'll wait to get a house. And she kind of has that in the back of her head. But I think in her head, she's just like, why would someone lie about this? Like, she didn't quite know, like, all of the things he was lying about, obviously. So there's the first house.
Was like the perfect time to get a house.
Yeah. Like, the
interest rates were not bad.
Yeah.
They were great because, like, it was a buyer's market. Like,
yeah.
Everybody was able to rule over it because, like, people were losing their jobs left and right.
Mm-hmm. And then, so this is all in, like, April. And then further into April, she finds out she is pregnant. So they tried for another house. This time she involved herself. She was like, okay, this house, I have to be involved in the sale. This is where the cash offers start. So they put in a cash offer for $699,000 because he claimed that he was approved through Chase Bank for $750. Sorry, not $700. And she actually saw the paperwork for this. And that he said he had separate savings and an offshore account, but he never disclosed how much or with whom. So when it came time for the house, the sellers were willing to accept the cash offer, but only after he proved that he could actually pay for it. It became a back and forth about showing proof, and the sellers, so they pulled out, and so did their realtor. She was upset, obviously, because why can't you just show proof of funds? Like, it's literally
you have the money.
Just send it to the realtor. The realtor will send it off, and then you're good. So she was getting really upset because she was confused, too, because he said that he had the money and bills were always paid and they never lacked anything. So she's like, obviously you have the money. If you're taking care of me, you're taking care of this, and you're saying that you have this mortgage, why can't you just show proof of funds? Like, why is it that hard?
Yeah.
She just didn't understand the issue. Around this time, too, she also found out that he was talking to women on Facebook Messenger. And so she started to question herself. Like, he was like, you know, I don't think he was emotionally cheating. So they started marriage counseling after this. Or not. No.
Couple.
They didn't. No. That was a different time.
They get married?
No.
Oh, yeah, because she says, who the fuck did I marry?
Yeah. I feel like that actually came later. Anyways, sorry. Fast forward to July 2020, she has a miscarriage.
Oh.
He wasn't there to, like, so she was at work. She had just went to the ultrasound. For some reason, the ultrasound was like, yeah, we're fine. We're good. And then at work, she starts to get these symptoms, and then she gets a call from her doctor that says, we looked into it. There is no heartbeat. So then she's also starting to get symptoms at the same time of her body going through the miscarriage. And so he's at work. And at this point, he is up for promotion as vice president of production. So he has this, like, big meeting. He has this, like, huge meeting.
What
company
is he working for?
Some big, like, condiment company.
Heinz?
In Atlanta. So maybe. We don't know.
Let's look it up.
And so her friend takes her to the hospital because he can't. And they decide that she's going to take, because there's some options. You can either let it happen naturally. Yes. You can go through with a manual abortion, or you can take the pill that will kind of work itself through. So she decides to do the pill.
The Georgia Hot Sauce Company.
Maybe. I have no idea.
But the first thing that comes up on the internet is, what condiment company did he work for? On the Reddit, who the fuck did I marry fans.
Yeah. Well, don't spoil it for yourself.
I'm not.
And so they decide to do the pill because they had a couple days off because it was also around Legion's birthday. So they decide that they're still going to go out, do the birthday plans, and then when they get back, she'll take the pill, and they'll spend the next 2 days just kind of with the pill going through her system. She says that she's like in the worst pain ever, and then she has to go back to the doctor to see if it would like actually expelled itself. Sorry, but if it actually aborted or completed the miscarriage. It did not, so she had to go do like a manual in the hospital abortion. And so her friend dropped her off, I think, and then again it's COVID, so no one could be in the room with her. He's at work, and now he has like this like assistant named Dave, and so every time she calls, Dave every time she texts, Dave answers, and he's like, hey, he's in a meeting, but I'll let him know. She goes, oh no, I was just letting him know that I'm going under, and then they'll let you guys know when I'm ready to be discharged, because it's like an outpatient thing. Yeah. And so she comes out. The nurse is like, okay, we talked to him. He says he's on his way. And then she's like still kind of awake. And she hears the nurse be like, yeah, we called him, and his executive assistant picked up, and he said that he would forward all the information. And I guess the doctor was like, no, HIPAA, like we need to talk to him. Yeah. He needs to get over here so he can, pick up at this time, they are engaged. His fiance. I forgot about that. His fiance, she kind of only just like at one point in the series just starts saying fiance, because the way that he proposed was literally like, here's your ring. You want to marry me? Like, it wasn't anything like grand. So she didn't really even make it like a story in the series.
You want to marry me?
Yeah. He was like, so
we doing
are we
this?
Engaged? Yeah, pretty much. Like after
what
dinner.
Are we? Like what are we?
Like they just finished like a helping of Hamburger Helper, and he's like, and and he says he's on his way, and she was like, from where he worked to the hospital, it would have been like 40 minutes, maybe with traffic. It took him forever to get there and pick her up. Like they were almost ready to do a shift change, Jesus and then he finally picked her up. So this poor fucking woman, and then because he was in like business meetings he couldn't miss because he was getting promoted.
Sorry, but I think your company would understand if your fiance is literally going through a miscarriage,
is getting like being put under.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Fast forward, his grandma passes away from COVID, and then he was kind of sad and then things start to change. By now, she was kind of over the relationship. Like, she was kind of just like, whatever, like, you're being weird.
At that point, I'd be like, I'm okay if you leave now.
Yeah, like, I feel like then you should break up with him, but obviously it's called Who the Fuck Did I Marry? So she did not. Because, like, nothing's changing. They're trying to buy a house, and he still is, like, not showing proof of funds. Yeah. Every time they were trying to do something, they never could, or he always had an excuse. So he got approved to have a company car. The company car had to be, I think it was, like, under $90,000. So they're looking at, like, BMWs, Mercedes.
That's still a big fucking chunk of money, be under $90,000.
Yeah, so they're looking at all of these.
You can get 2 cars.
Well, the company car.
You could get 2 cars with that money.
Yeah, but the for some reason in his contract, they were like, get a company car. It can be anywhere up to $90,000 and we'll pay for it.
Oh, okay.
And so he is like starting to promise her, like, I'll get you a BMW, because with his salary is now going up to $200,000 a year. So he's like, I'll buy you a new car. You know, she had like a Nissan Rogue or something that she had forever. She said she had like a shit ton of miles on it. So he was offering to buy her a new car. And she wanted this like BMW or something. Yeah, she wanted a BMW with like the specific color, the specific interior. And so he's like, well, let me get my company car and then I'll get you a car. And so he took her for like test driving cars, and he convinced her that he would get one for her and would pay for it. And so she's like dead set on this BMW because he keeps having her test drive BMWs. She loves them. And then randomly one day he's like, what about an Audi? And so he has her test drive an Audi, and she loves it. And he says that he'll buy it and it'll be delivered to her, to the house. And she's like, don't deliver a brand new fucking Audi to our area. She's like, with no one home. Like, I want to park it in the garage because I don't need people to know that we just bought a fucking Audi. And so he's like, well, can you take a half day and be home? And she's like, yeah. Obviously the Audi never fucking arrives. It never came, and he had some excuse why. I think he was just like, oh, it got stuck on the truck. But then after that, like, it never
they stopped
it never came
producing
up again.
it.
Yeah. And then he left for work. He finally got his own like company car. He ended up getting the BMW that she wanted as his company car. So that was already kind of like a slap in the face. But here's the thing. He never brought it home. It was always at the company.
Lies. He doesn't work for this company.
He never brought it home because he was like, I didn't want to bring it to where we live. And she's like, but you were going to have an Audi
delivered to the house.
Delivered. An Audi 8. And so she mentions that he left for work every day at the same time. I think she said like 4 in the morning, and he would come home around 3 to 4 p.m. He also ended up losing a couple more family members. By the end of the year, by the end of the year, they were getting ready to get married. And then in January 2021, they got married. Literally 3 days later, she found out that he was cheating. This is where the Facebook messages come in. Literally found out that he was cheating through Facebook Messenger. And this is when her mom was coming to stay. And she's like, we're putting up a united front. We're not fighting. But right now, I'm fucking pissed at you. And so she, in the series, she says, if we were married like January 3rd, by January 31st, I knew I was in trouble. I feel like you should have known you were in trouble before you got married, but whatever.
You should have known you were in trouble the moment he said I have an offshore account.
The moment that he said I played arena football and I have an offshore account.
Offshore account.
Girl, he's not playing NFL football.
He's playing high school football and getting paid for it.
That's literally what it is.
I know.
It's so fucking dumb. But so she finds out that he was like emotionally cheating. He never physically cheated with these women through Facebook Messenger, but he still emotionally cheated. Like, he still cheated.
Yeah, he's cheating.
And so they go to marriage counseling. Mind you, they just got married. And they're going to marriage counseling.
You should start marriage counseling before you get
married. Obviously, they did not do like premarital counseling, but they went to this pastor and wife. So already you're like, oh no, like they're going to tell them to stay together. But actually, it was so bad that the pastor and his wife, was
y'all need to get the fuck away from each other.
Literally, the pastor's wife, because they were talking about things from like, he won't show me his accounts. He won't show me this offshore account. He won't do proof of funds. I don't know his middle name. A house. And so the pastor and his wife were like, okay, like, you guys obviously have some really bad trust issues. I don't think you guys are going to last a year. And then the
pastor and the wife is like, you just got married. There's like a 3-month rule. You can get it undone really quick.
Yeah. And then, like, what was the other thing? Oh, the pastor was like, if you guys came for premarital counseling, we would have told you not to get married. If a pastor is telling you that, then it's bad. Okay. True. So I'll keep reading. Mm-hmm. The pastor told her flat out that you should have come to me before marrying him. I would have told you don't do it because something's not right. So the ex's stepkids that he was close to, the girl got COVID and passed away. So he offered to help give his ex and his stepson $2,000 to go towards the funeral. And so he asked,
just in general.
He asked Risa if that was okay, and she's like, yeah, of course. Like, I don't play about death. You know, do what you got to do. And so she ended up buying herself a Nissan because he wasn't doing shit. So she bought the Nissan, but on the note, it was more than she expected, and so he was helping her pay for it. So Mabel's barking. I don't know. So she told him that she was going to get another job, not like a second job, but leave where she currently was to get something that paid more so that she could pay for her own car note. And he laughed in her face. But
Patrick just texted me because he can hear.
What?
Patrick can hear what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He texted me. Also, a wife is like a child. It's a small person you're responsible for and take care of.
What does that mean? Period.
King.
Patrickisms. So she did get her job. No, you're good. She did get her job, but she had to do a background check. And since they were married, he had to put his social security number. Oh. She noticed that the social security number that he put on the background check was a couple numbers different from the one from the marriage license. So she did a reverse background check because she worked with Georgia State Patrol. So she had like access to a lot of these things.
Why did she do this earlier?
I don't know. Granted, she did not have his social security number until beginning of January because that's when they got married. We are now like late January, I think. And so she searched, and this is when all hell broke loose. So she discovers, and this is like from, I would say like February all the way down to maybe May or June. So I'm just going to go through like what she found out because there's a lot of little stuff that doesn't really matter. She discovered he never resided in California. He told her he went to college, played football, graduated, met his ex, blah, blah, blah. He has addresses in Rhode Island, Philly, and Georgia. Never been to California in his life. Found out that he had been married to a previous person, so that she's technically his third wife, not his second wife. No. And then the first wife ended in the fact that the ex had to get an order of protection because she started to beat his ass after finding out that he lied about everything. Both times. So
she said going, damn, can't go that route.
Yeah. And both times they filed for divorce and neither marriages lasted past 6 months. She found an address and a number for the most recent ex and called her. That ex told her that he lies about everything and to get her shit and run as fast as she can. She said that he only had maybe one family member that talked to him because he lies so much. And before getting off the phone, she asked about the girl, her daughter that passed from COVID. She said her daughter was fine. And she also said that she never cheated on him. She divorced him because she found out that he lied about everything. So, obviously. And they have no communication. Obviously, Reese says like, what the fuck? So she continues looking. She finds the obituary online for his grandma that says that she passed away in 2008, not in 2020. So that time where he was crying about his dead grandma, who the fuck knows? He just decided to cry one day about his dead grandma and saying that she just died.
I'm gonna be really sad. It's the people who use my grandma died for work PTO.
How many grandmas do you have?
My grandma died
bereavement
again.
Bereavement pay. So the grandma passed away in 2008. During this time, his knee was giving him some trouble, which he said was like an old football injury. And then he said he did something to it at work. So he was kind of bedridden and he was calling out more, which granted, like, his excuse was that he was on the production line a lot as VP of production. But if he's VP of production, he could probably just work from home. it's 2021.
Most Anyways. VPs are working from
home. Yeah. But he ended up in bedridden. By this time, it was about May 2021. She had also discovered another obituary that said that he only had 2 brothers, no sisters. She ended up calling the college because now she had his records and she had his social security number. So she kind of pretended to be like, oh, I have this person that says that they went, like almost like she's a job interviewer for this person. She goes, oh, they said that they went here. They had no record of him attending. So at this point, she's done. She ends up confronting him on his birthday on June 17th.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
June!
Yeah, this is from... She was discovering all of this. Like, it was slowly coming out, but, like, obviously when you put it all together, you're like, holy shit. She asked him, did he go to college? And he said he did, rolled his eyes, tried to get upset. And she told him that she knew he was lying about everything. She knew about college. She knew about everything and told him to get out of her house before she killed him. Because she was so mad. She also, at this point, found out that this is when he was actually physically cheating. Because she looked at his phone. And she, like, kind of, she wasn't sad about the cheating. She was kind of more so, like, happy. Because she's like, thank God, now I have, like a, oh, get out of here.
An
like,
out.
You cheated. An out. Yeah. And he ended up calling his aunt and told him that, and she told him that she'll give him money to go home to Philly and just to leave the house. So she said it took like 2 hours to get this man out of there because he was like,
I don't have anywhere to go.
No, he was telling his aunt, he's like, I've never lied to her. And so she's getting pissed because she's like, yes, you fucking did. And he's been bedridden. So when she like got his ass out of the bed, and he's been in the guest bedroom because he was in so much pain. He was like flopping and turning all over. And she was like, go sleep in the other room. Like, I can't get any sleep with you. So he's been in the guest bedroom and he's been only drinking Powerade.
Too loud.
And he's only been drinking Powerade. And so all of the Powerade bottles just had piss in them. And she's like, and so he's like throwing them away. And she's like, get your shit and get the fuck out of here. You're fucking gross. You're a liar. And so eventually he does. She gets the locks changed. She said that she ordered like a birthday cake for him. And she like still picked it up and went to her family's house and they ate it while she told them everything that went down.
Listen to this shit.
Yeah. And so then he's now in Philly. She gets a message from one of his cousins and asks her to call. So she calls her cousin, or his cousin, who is like, what happened between you guys? Because we didn't even know he was married. Because again, they don't talk to him because he's a liar. Because they said that he was a liar. Yeah. Because what he's claiming is that he caught her cheating with a police officer and the police officer threatened to shoot him if he didn't leave. But the cousin said that he lies so much that they didn't believe him. They hadn't talked to him in over 7 to 8 years and even longer because he burned so many bridges with everyone. So through this, she found out that he did only have the 2 brothers, no sisters, and the oldest that he claimed to talk to every day, they had not talked since like probably 2015.
What was he doing for his job?
So she finds out that he
left the house every day and pretended to go to work.
Or no, he was like a forklift driver at the condiment company and that he got fired. So she also talks to the brother because the cousin gives her the brother's number. The older brother is like, no, I've not called that man. I don't fuck with that man. I don't know who the fuck he was talking to, but it was not me. So we all kind of have come to the conclusion that he was probably just like, oh yeah, no one on the other end. Oh, hi, bro.
It's
blah, blah, blah.
like,
no one on the other end.
Like the thing where it's like this, like it's the screen.
Yeah, and it's just like he's not talking to. And there's no one on the other end. So the brother reveals that their father was not even remotely a police officer. He was maybe a parole officer for a little bit, but he was not a police officer. He was not a pastor in any sort, because he also said that his parents owned a church. He mentioned that the older brother, they hadn't talked in like nearly a decade. And the younger brother was actually his twin brother who lived in Nashville. Now get this. The twin brother. The twin brother has a family, has 2 kids, has a very nice house, is a vice president of a company, has a company car. So he just essentially stole his twin brother's life and has just been lying about it. There's obviously no sisters. And so she finds out that he lied about his entire family tree. She finds out that the aunt that he called...
It's like a poorly written version of Don't Worry, Darling.
Yeah, pretty much. He Olivia Wilde stole this idea.
She did.
But
she could.
And then she gets him to sign the divorce papers. At this point, he's like so ill, and like she literally said, like, he smelled so bad I knew that he was living out of his car. Because obviously he had burned so many bridges in Philly, he had to come back to Georgia. And after that, like, they get the divorce is finalized. What else? Oh, she obviously finds out that like everything that he showed her, like at one point they showed each other screenshots of their savings from Google. Chase Mortgage from Google. The picture of his car from Google.
It's like the first thing you Google.
I know. She found out how to reverse. She found out how to reverse image search on Google, and it was over for him.
But it's like when people are like, "This is me," and it's like the first, like, "This is my bird," and you Google image bird, and it's the first picture. Like, it's not like they scrolled down and went for like one that people aren't gonna go to.
Look at this picture I took. And then she did like a clarification where she found out that he was diagnosed with, I think it was bipolar and schizophrenia as a child.
Okay. And
that he just never took his medications as a kid. And obviously, like, it kind of got out of control. And now Legion is starting to, like, make his own TikToks. Like, she left him anonymous.
He's real?
He decided to out himself. So, yeah, that's Who the Fuck Did I Marry? Like, she knew nothing about this man. Everything was a lie. Every single thing. I don't think I missed anything. Who the fuck did I marry?
I'm sorry, that's the funniest thing ever.
It was...
it was funny, and then you said he was diagnosed as bipolar, as schizophrenic, and I went like this, oh.
But I mean, like...
Yeah.
At one point, you just have to be like, what? Like, he's 40.
What the actual fuck?
Like,
yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's everything. I think I got everything. If I missed anything, I'll try and think of it, but...
Well, hey.
I mean, it's 50 fucking parts, so...
Yeah, and good thing your section was a little longer, because mine's, like, not as deep, because it's newly developing.
Yes. Breaking news.
This just in. Princess or Duchess Kate Middleton missing.
I was reading about this yesterday.
Okay, so for those of you who live under a rock, people love to keep their tabs on the royal family. King Charles, his children, like tabloids in the UK are actually like ridiculous. Mm-hmm. At like how much they cover, but
it's like they're celebrities.
Yeah, it's like their TMZ, essentially.
Yeah.
Because you know how, like, TMZ is always the first to report on things?
Mm-hmm.
That their tabloids are all like that.
Yeah.
So, okay, so for those of you that don't know, Princess Kate, Princess of Wales, Duchess Kate, she's princess now. She used to be Duchess. And wife to Prince William, next heir to the throne, has not been seen in the public eye since Christmas Day, which...
Where the fuck is she?
She is one of the most, like, photographed women in the world, and she's a public figure who's lived her life in the public since she has been Prince William's girlfriend. But people think she's, like, actually missing because she's just, like, vanished from the public view. So, on January 17th, the palace, so Kensington Palace, like, that does all the, official reporting for the royal family, announced that Kate had entered the hospital the day before for a planned abdominal surgery. So, they said in the statement, "The Princess of Wales appreciates the interest this statement will generate," the announcement read. "She hopes that the public will understand her desire to maintain as much normalcy for her children as possible, and wish that her personal medical information remains private." It later added that she was unlikely to resume her public duties until Easter, which is not till March 31st this year. So, not till the end of this month.
Yeah. But from there, that was like 6 or 7 weeks from when she started her abdominal surgery?
On January 17th.
Yeah, so
yeah.
4, 6-ish weeks.
1, 2, 3, 4. No, more like 8.
8
or
weeks.
9.
Yeah, which it's just like, if it was planned, why did she have schedules?
Exactly. So, she has stuck to the announced schedule, and Kensington Palace announced on January 29th that she had returned home on track with her planned 10 to 14 days of hospital recovery. And currently, it's not Easter yet, and she is not yet out in public. However, this long pause, so there was a lot of speculation that, like, King Charles, he had his, prostate surgery. He's got prostate cancer now. They thought it was like a cover-up for him. Maybe he has already passed, and this is just, like, covering it up. Because, like, as you remember, when the Queen died, we didn't know for, like, a hot minute. Because they have to go through all these steps.
Yeah.
So, it's been, like, this is, like, built like a conspiracy theory. Because Prince William also canceled a planned appearance of his own on February 27th, citing a personal matter. And that's when everything started to blow up. So, like, you're taking one of the most photographed women in the world and saying, she's not gonna come out until March 31st. Easter.
Yeah.
Easter.
She's fine.
And, like, after every single one of her children's births, she was photographed outside the hospital. Like, literally 2 to 3 days following their birth.
Yeah, she just pushed them out.
So, people are like, if Kate's surgery was planned, then people demanded to know why the palace had also said that she was postponing her upcoming engagements, and how far in advance has this surgery really been planned. The other thing is that the detail that people are like, you said 10 to 14 days, why do we have to wait till Easter? Nobody's, like, seen her at all. And then also people, like, some people think, like, if it's, like, an abdominal surgery, they think, like, an so an appendectomy. But they don't, like, have lengthy inpatient stays. So
no, they're pretty quick turnaround.
Yeah, they don't know. They want to know, like, what her abdominal surgery was. My thing is I think because Prince William said he had personal matters on February 27th, she had either, like, something removed from, like, her liver. She had a kidney donation. something with her bowel, something like that like actually puts you in the hospital. Like liver, like especially liver transplants or like removing something from your liver, those take like weeks upon recovery.
Because like, you have to figure out too if it's going to get rejected from the body.
Like, and it's your liver, like that's like
you need that.
You can't live without it.
You kind of need that.
And so my thoughts are like
transplant.
Something went wrong. But other speculation has increased because Buckingham Palace announced the same day that King Charles was receiving his treatment for an enlarged prostate. And for them to both be undergoing such like
intensive
high medical procedures at the same time, it's like unusual. It's kind of like the thing where like people don't put like really, really, really big companies don't put all of their senior leadership on the same flight. Mm-hmm. Because, like, unfortunately, if one plane goes down, then it's
the entire leadership team.
Yeah. So, people think that the palace is trying to cover something up. And so, Kate's condition has remained, like, nothing. Like, we don't know about it, but King Charles, like, we know what happened. Like, he had an enlarged prostate. In February, he was diagnosed with cancer. It's been caught early. He's doing well, and treatment has begun. They're, like, keeping us posted. But for Kate, they only said that her condition was not cancerous. That's all they've said.
But there's so many other things it could be.
And it's like...
does she have, like, cirrhosis or something? Like, what's going on, dude?
So it's now getting, like, big enough where people are, like, the palace has, like, come out and said, like, this isn't real. Don't be...
Oh, they're, like, disputing claims.
Yeah. They're like, this is a conspiracy theory. Don't worry about it. And it's like, you're saying don't worry about it, but...
Where is she? Is she alive?
Yeah. So, they posted... Where was it? Let me see. Yeah, the palace addressed the Kate Middleton missing rumors. So, a rep for her officially set the record straight that the palace made it clear in January the timelines of the princess's recoveries, and we'd only be providing significant updates. That guidance stands, and the princess is doing well. Okay, like, thanks. All you said was... Like, I don't know. Like, if you're having, like, that big of a surgery and you want to keep it private for your children's sake...
First of all, your children are, like...
Your children are in the eye.
8. Yeah.
And I just... Part of me thinks that, like... What's-his-face is not doing well. And they're trying to keep this, like, the talk of the town.
Oh, King Charles? You think that he's, like, actively dying?
Yeah.
Like, maybe his prostate cancer is farther along than what they said?
Yeah. So.
I don't know. I'm just confused as, like, okay, like you said, yeah, she wants to keep it for her children, but if it was just an abdominal surgery, like an appendectomy, or even hell, like a kidney transplant or something, I feel like that's so, like, normal.
Yeah.
You could just be like, Kate Middleton is getting a kidney transplant.
Yeah.
Boom. All the speculation is gone.
Exactly.
But, like, your kids already know that you're going through surgery, so why the fuck can you not tell?
Unless it's, like, abdominal, where it's, like, I wonder if she was, like, pregnant or something.
Ooh, yeah.
Went wrong. Because, like, then I can understand where it's, like, you're keeping it. Because, like, she didn't fully announce that she was pregnant. Because, you don't usually share that information until X amount of time.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, I can understand keeping it wraps, and she just wants to keep recovery time.
Yeah.
Like, that I can understand. But it's a little fishy to me. Seems a little fishy to me.
I'm interested to see like what Buckingham Palace like continues to say, because maybe she's dead. Well, and then
there was that like then there was Diana? Like no, she could never.
No, I mean, are they what if they just did the treatment again? They're like, dead, that one too. I feel like they would do that to Meghan Markle.
Yeah, they would. Yeah.
Of the two of them.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why they're in America.
That's why they're in America. But yeah, that's what I got. That's what I've been interested in lately. So if anything comes out of this, I'll be sure to
keep us updated. Good.
I will keep you postponed. This is a running news story.
Running news. Well,
I don't have my book. Hold on.
Oh, I have mine.
Okay, but okay. I like having mine. I know you've read farther.
Yeah. Well, I thought, okay.
Stop myself. No, I know. We didn't explicitly say like
continue reading
the next set, so I didn't.
Oh.
And then I saw your post. Well, the thing is I went on Goodreads to see if you updated it, but Goodreads wasn't telling me if you updated it or not. So I was like, well, I guess I'll just stop reading. So
sorry.
I only read to chapter 7. Okay. And I've been fiending to like I read
we do like our weeks are like make sure you finish it on time.
I know. But the thing is Celeste, I could have kept reading and finished the book.
Yeah.
Like I can finish this weekend. Same.
I'm on page 200.
Okay, yeah, no, I stopped right at. Oh, really?
I have Google on. I just have to put it on there. But it's so fucking annoying. Oh.
And I've started tabbing.
Oh, I haven't tapped this one.
But I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I just be tabbing too much.
Yeah, when I first started tabbing.
But with smaller books, it's like
it's easier too.
There is a lot of like, there's a lot more foreshadowing and like important information.
Yeah.
So
chapter 7.
But these are my tab colors.
Read? Nice. Wow.
Cute, right?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Did you read chapter 7 or did you read 2 chapter 7?
I read 2 chapter 7.
Okay, so let me see.
And I just want to say the whole smelling thing. You posted that TikTok. I knew that was coming. I knew it was. Like, yeah. The first time she said it, I was like, oh, it's you.
Well, so the part that I posted, that's not... There's something that happens where she has to smell like him, and that's his quote.
Okay.
But, so... Up to chapter 7, that's when you meet Anna, his sister.
Oh, yeah, the little girl.
Yeah. I like this book. I love Allie Hazelwood's writing. She's so fucking funny. Too. There was, like, I'm trying to think, there was a couple of, and I didn't tab them just because I was just reading to read. I didn't tab, but there was, like, one part where I, like, audibly laughed. There's a couple parts that I did, but...
I think... I haven't put any quotes that I love. I've tabbed shadowing, important, and then 2, like, what the fucks. Oh, when the who is it? The governor's talking to her at the wedding, and he's like, then again, he gave up a lot for this arrangement. The collateral they're sending, the councilman's daughter, all for the alpha's mate. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Because I haven't gotten anywhere. I'm like, I think this is important.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like, I see people on the internet saying that it's like another Kylo Ren Rey fan fiction.
And I don't think so.
I haven't. From what I've read, I don't think it is.
I don't think it is.
Like,
I think she's past that.
Yeah, but it's good. I love Allie Hazelwood. I will never forget when I read Love Hypothesis and Love on the Brain.
I think it was, what is this, chapter 6? Oh. I think it was just the way that she wrote this part where, she's talking about...
What page?
I'm on chapter 6, page 87.
Okay.
Where she's talking about, like, I sleep during the day, I miss the internet. She's talking about, so it says, I do miss the internet. There is a concern that I might want to moonlight as a spy and prevent me from transferring classified and confidential information I could come across while in Ware territory. I don't really have access to technology with the exception of my weekly check-in call with Vanya, which is heavily monitored and lasts just as long enough for her to sneer at me as she ascertains that I'm still alive. Of course, this is not my first rodeo, and I did try and smuggle in a cell phone plus a laptop and a bunch of pen testing gadgets. Your Honor, I got caught. Whoever went through my stuff had a gall of a confiscate to half of it and to pluck out the antenna points and the Wi-Fi cards. Your Honor, I got caught.
Like, immediately. I want to know what a bunch of pen testing gadgets is.
I don't know.
All I think is like...
Or, the one, now that I went back a couple pages where it's, I think 82.
Do we have
82.
to limit ourselves?
What?
If it's a book this short.
No, just read.
Yeah.
But here's the other quote that I thought was really funny. Where they're talking about, it's on 82. She said, interspecies relationships are unheard of, if not unseen, judging by all the human-produced porn Serena and I would watch. We'd eat popcorn and laugh at the untalented actors in purple contacts and fake teeth engaging in acts that proudly showcase their ignorance of vampire anatomy. Where to? I'm no expert, but I'm fairly sure their dicks wouldn't get stuck in an orifice like that.
Orifice like that.
So it was just...
Yeah.
That's all I had for it.
Yeah, no, it's good. Her writing is so... It's just, like, so light and funny.
So
like, it's
funny.
not hard. It's so good compared to Sarah J. Maas.
It's just so easy.
Like,
it's so easy to read.
Yeah, it's easier to read, and it's just, like, it's fun. Yeah, I don't know. So, I mean, we'll say from 7 to 14. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so read up to 14 if you're reading along. Celeste and I, like we said, we're probably just going to finish it. You can finish it too, but we're only going to talk up to chapter 14 next week.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think that's it then.
I did get another book, another couple books. I showed you, but then I got another book yesterday for my birthday. Mm-hmm. I can't remember what it's called. I'll just send it to you later. But the back of it, it's like this mom, single mother, and her daughter at the beach, and the daughter goes under the water and she doesn't resurface. And it's like, oh, that's scary. But then you like read on in the last chapter, it's like it's told in two like timelines. So like it's if she did resurface versus if she didn't. Mm-hmm. And I'm very interested to like read it, because I love those types of books, like a parallel or like a what if book. I'm excited.
Yeah.
So I'll get you the title.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, you're out of focus. There you go.
Wow, that was cool.
Wow.
It wasn't cool. That
was not
stupid.
Cool. Well, I think that's it then.
Goodbye.
Be sure to follow us on all of our socials. And
we've said them. And watch us on YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, listen to us on Spotify. If you're listening to us on Spotify, watch us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram at WCIBM Podcast. We post pretty funny outtakes from our episodes. Celeste does a really, really great job editing it. And every time I show them to all my friends and family, they're like, oh, this is actually really funny. And I'm like, yeah, you should listen. Actually interesting. We're not just...
Follow us on TikTok. Same app, I think. Mm-hmm. And
subscribe, like, comment. We do a poll on our Spotify every week, so be sure to answer that, because we think I come up with them. I think they're pretty funny.
Well, I think that's it then.
I think that's it.
All right, thank you.
Bye.